That's an eternity of basketball ahead of us. Another beautiful steal perpetrated by Matt White. The action continues. A let's go situation here. Alex Deacon going up against a double team. Jeffrey Moore has perfect access to the bucket. What you saw from that normal replay of that last bit of action was Fernandez actually wanting to dish off the aggressive pass to Jaworski. We're crossing the twilight zone. That's an eternity of basketball ahead of us.
At San Miguel, we believe in the Filipinos' potential to rise to our greatest challenges and support our collective aspirations for a better world. Malasakit is part of everything we do. We uplift the lives of generations of Filipinos. We are building a better world. Today, our efforts are focused on building a more resilient and globally competitive Philippines. For us, this means a nation with the necessary infrastructure to thrive in the global economy. A nation that enjoys energy security and food security. One that can attract the kind of investment that will create support projects that will generate economic vitality. A nation where prosperity is widely shared. We focus on industries on which the country's future depends, and we work to balance economic development with sustainability. This means protecting our natural resources and creating strong, cohesive communities where every Filipino has equal access to a better future. This means forging ahead with projects that will transform the Philippine economy and, more importantly, our communities.
I believe that San Miguel has the capability and heart to do it. The lesson we learned from the past offers so much potential for the present. They shape our sense of what's possible.
At San Miguel, our ambition comes from the hope of leaving a world that will be better for our children than the one we found. San Miguel Corporation, your world made better.
This is an eternity of basketball. We're part of the Globally Ballin Network. Check out globallyballin.com for original articles, audio and video projects, and all those other shows on the network like Who the Heck Are We, Mukbang, etc. Check them out on globallyballin.com. And then the latest episode of Who the Heck Are We? The boys of Who the Heck Are We? They're talking about the UAAP 87 first round. And those guys, Claro, Diego, and Juancho, pag-usapan nila yan. So panoorin nyo po yan. Most trending episodes on YouTube. Bogs Adornado still at number 1. But guys have crept in. Bobby Oses there. Sixto Agbay. Si Jeff Collins, andyan na rin. So, please start watching our past episodes if you've missed them. Which one's your favorite? You can also catch us on Twitter, the X page of Globally Ballin. We're streaming there right now. And you need Linktree/GloballyBallin as the link for easy access to all of that. Follow them on social media. Okay, good morning, everyone. And we're here. I'm Charlie Cuna together with Sid Ventura. Si Noel Zarate, papasok yan maya-maya. The late Noel Zarate. He'll be late again. So sa araw na ito, episode 233. And I'm very, very honored to have him today. He's been on the show in the past, whether as a guest doon sa panel ng Smoke and Joe episode natin. Nag-pop in na rin siya for a couple of our other guests, yung mga players niya dati sa Manila Beer. Pero ngayon, this is his solo show and we're gonna talk about it. And we have to start right away. Kasi ang haba-haba ng resume nito, lahat ginawa nito. Almost 50 years. Kung mag-50 years na ang PBA, halos kasama siya ron from the start. Diba? So, and he's still with us till today, as one of the game analysts. And I worked with him very often. Let's bring him in already. You all know him. Actually, needs no further introduction. The doctor,
Yes.
Andy Jao. Doc, morning.
Yes.
Salamat.
Well,
Thanks for
yes,
joining us.
good morning, Charlie. Good morning, Sid. And later, a belated morning to Noel, as you say. Medyo tardy ng konti ang kaibigan
Oh,
natin. But
yun na
thank
nga,
you
yun na
very
nga.
much for this opportunity.
Thank you, Doc. We've been waiting for a long time. They've been clamoring for you, yung mga fans natin. We have a bunch of photos we'd like to show from the past and all, but I'll ask you just one question before we get the ball rolling. About 50 years ka na rito sa PBA, basketball and all of that, Doc. Were you really a basketball fan ever since you were young?
Well, even since when I was in grade school, never could really play the game well. It was more of like being a student and playing for your class or whatever. But I've studied the game a lot, and it started actually in high school and little of college, and everybody knows that Tommy Manotok and I are good friends. We've been together since we were young kids, and he really has a knack for coaching, but he always knew that I also had some ability to help him out. And we won a lot of championships, not only in school, both grade school and college level, high school and college level, but eventually to the PBA. So I studied the game a lot, and he was also a guy that really studied. In the old days, Charlie, unlike today, I don't know about today though, but right now we have a lot of good coaches, and we certainly have an array of very good assistant coaches. But during our time, having the best team was always an advantage. Not necessarily that you may have the best mind behind your team, but we believed in something else, and eventually that became fruitful as we won a couple of championships. Not only in the PBA, I also won championships in the Mika.
Yes, that's right. Oh,
Solid Mills.
Winning that first championship with UTEX, I won with Solid Mills.
Tama.
Right.
We studied the game a little bit more, and we believe a lot in defense and a lot of scouting. Because I did scouting in 1977, so that's a long time ago, and I was still a young. So maybe too old now. By reminding them how many years ago it is.
Right.
But Doc, what attracted you to the game, or who attracted you to the game? Was there any particular basketball personality?
I think every Filipino, that studies or anything that goes to any school, you're attracted to basketball. It was the biggest thing at the time. Of course, I thought boxing was, but not everybody can be a boxer. And boxing is only a person itself. For example, our great Flash Elorde, and eventually for present years, Manny Pacquiao. It's more or less an individual thing done by training and discipline. But basketball is a team game. That's why even if you have a weaker team, it still takes 5 to win. And maybe when you have a team of 12 to 15, you're really relying on 9 people to get you there.
Right.
Yeah.
Pero may mga idol ka ba, Doc,
Yun.
nung bata ka, when you were playing basketball, as you said, with your friends in high school and grade school?
I can't remember. Well, I did get to see Kaloy Laisaga play. Actually, my first game I saw I was only 4.5 years old, and my mother brought me to a game. I also remember the late Kurt Bachman, Tatay ni Tiki. He was an idol for Lasal, So obviously, medyo, not too many guys that are 6'3", 6'4" that comes and throws a hook really can dominate the game, just like Kaloy. There are a lot of good, and I used to watch, by the way, since you mentioned that, this is going down memory lane dahil kasama nga kayo.
Sure.
When I was younger, we and Tommy, we used to watch those Mika games, and there were some good ones, and you can't get tickets there, because Rizal Memorial is not really big, and the franchises like Eco, Ismail, whatever, they certainly have all the goods, and we didn't have the money to go there anyway to pay that 20 pesos or what. So we used to stay at the bleachers of Rizal Memorial just to watch those games. You go by that corner, or there's a big electric fan for all the people that remember that.
Tama.
But there was a lot of guys. There were guys like McCoy Morales, Melencio, Madurata. There are a lot of good players that you admired. No? Of course, Bauson, not a scorer, but a good player. Alfonso Marquez. Some of them became, real legends for us also.
Yeah,
But William was one of my, your number one thing ba yan, si Bogs? I really admired the way Bogs played.
Yeah, of course.
Marami naman kayo.
At that time,
Hi,
marami.
Noel.
Eh na si Noel. Noel Zarate is there, but mukhang frozen.
Pero mukhang naka-freeze.
Mukhang naka-freeze.
Hi, Doc.
Yan.
Technical issues today.
Oo nga.
Yeah, thank you.
Yan.
Technical issues
Doc, may
lang ng
nanonood
konti.
dito. Former
Kumusta,
player
Doc?
nun nanonood. Si Ricky Relosas watching.
Oh, my Bruce brother.
Yeah.
But he wasn't a Bruce brother when he was playing for me.
So his
It's
brother.
only when he and Yo-Yo moved to Alaska that
Tama.
phrase came along.
That's
Ricky's a
right.
good player. Ricky is a nice player defensively. And maaasahan yan eh, if you use the term in Tagalog na when he gets around the basket, he can score. Because he's a
Right.
power player, just like Yo-Yo.
Yan. Ricky, ha? Narinig mo yan, ha? Pero gawin
I
na
love
natin.
Ricky.
Pinag-uusapan na kasi natin. We were going down memory lane. As you said, Doc, let's enter the first segment of our show. It's called the Time Capsule. May mga hinandang pictures. Si Sid. So let's go right into it. Let's look at the first picture. Here you go. 1978, Doc.
Solid
This was a
Mills.
double champion for us that year. Eh.
Yes.
First, we won the Solid Mills thing. We beat at that time known as Frigidaire, I think. Yeah, and the coach was the late Nat Canson, and it was a Toyota franchise actually. That was our championship, and I had great players. I mean, this is not a
Yes.
joke. The kind of players I had at the time. Sometimes you think, mahina itong team na ito, but when you look into the future, ang lakas pala ng team nito. We had Yo-Yo, we had Marty Saldana, we had Ray Obias, we had a lot, Tinto Ichua, Butch Beso, we had a lot of good players there. And Turo was our coach. Of course,
Right.
Lazaro, Ray Lazaro, we had a lot of good players. By Cristobal, dami yan, Pasco, Conrad.
Brad Pasco, yeah.
Conrad.
Yung
So-
tanong dyan, Doc, is why or how did you get Turing Valenzuela to coach for you? Bakit sa
No, no.
target niyo?
No, I was the one who got into the team because this is like a farm team of UTEX. All of the teams, like I said, yung Frigidaire was a farm team of Toyota. So in the meantime that the PBA was off, so I took care of this team together with a guy named Martin Lau, good friend also. And we won. And then we followed that with the championship in UTEX, 1978 yan eh. Back to back. In other words, for the franchise itself, it was really a happy season for us. And surprising, di ba?
Yeah. So nakuha niyo lahat ng FEU players then, I guess because of Turing also.
Because of Turing also.
Yes.
Yeah. He was the coach. We had a lot of good players. Of course, si Eto Clobo, I forgot my pare. And of course, Anthony Dasalia,
Tony.
who were the key amateur players at the time. No?
Tama yun. So champion kayo dyan. And Doc, that's you for people looking for where Doc is, there he's on the left side. Medyo tago siya dyan sa left side, no? Medyo nakat siya. But there he is standing beside Turing Valenzuela. And you see Marty Saldana sa harap.
This is such a great honor because, I always, everybody knows that I consistently talk with Norman because we've been friends from the time that medyo naglaro when he first played here. And one of the guys that we really admire in broadcasting is Hubie Brown. Of course, getting older, voices nawawala na, but he definitely was the parang the knowledge that he imparts is something else.
Right.
Ay,
He's 90 what? 92? Ganun na yata si Hubie. He's still calling games, NBA games.
Kaya nga, he's not doing as what he did so often as before.
Yeah, he's much more active before. He would even have mga halftime analysis, yung mga ganyan, ginagawa pa niya. But I don't think he's capable anymore. Pero yung utak, very sharp pa rin.
Yeah.
Si Hubie Brown right now. So
May-
sa Solid
may-
Mills, Doc, Sige, Sid.
May isa pang nanonood, I just want to say, a former lady referee of the PBA, Mau Orioste. My favorite commentator daw, si Dr. J.
Kasi binabanggit
si
lagi
Mau.
ni Doc yan, si Mau. Oh, si Mau.
Yeah.
Miss
Mau,
na natin si
sayang
Mau.
rin siya because she was on the way to being really good. But a knee injury stopped her. And then she was about to get married to a foreigner, I think a Russian.
Married
if I'm not
already.
mistaken.
Married
Tinuloy
already.
na niya, Doc.
Yeah.
Tinuloy na niya.
So good for her. I'm happy for her. At least
Ah.
going to the next stage. We've had 3 good referees. Edith was also a very good referee, and I had a chance to work with her in the what they call this, yung NCAA. But now she's with the FIBA. So she's really doing well. And then of course there's Janine.
Yeah, Janine
Yeah,
Nagandre. The only
Doc,
remaining female referee.
Is
the
this
PBA.
accurate? There's a comment from Mr. Jovi Peralta. You belong to LaSalle class of 67 together with Waki and Tommy Manotok.
Yeah.
Tama ba?
Tommy was my closest friend, and
Yes,
Waki
yeah.
was in another section. Waki was the captain ball of the high school team, 67. Not a very strong team, but a competitive one. That's why Waki, si Don Joaquin, medyo tagal na kami magkaibigan rin yan.
Right. Tapos
I
sino
haven't
kalaban
seen
nyo
Tommy
sa
in a while,
finals,
though.
Doc? Sino kalaban nyo sa dalawang finals, 77 and 78? Who was the challenger? Second place.
Utex? With Utex?
No, yung Solid Mills ito, when you won. When Solid
On
Mills
Solid
won.
Mills, we won. I said that, if I'm not mistaken, Frigidaire.
Frigidaire,
Yung,
yes. Correct.
subsidiary ng
Both
Toyota yun.
both times.
Yeah.
No,
only once. We only won once.
Okay.
Subsidiary ng Toyota yan. Then, a lot of our players moved to the new team that came in and was getting a lot of players, yung Upcore, no?
Yes, Upcore nga.
So,
Dami,
nawala
most of
sa
them nga. Most of them moved to that already. When did you enter finally? So, you were with Solid Mills. When did you make that jump to the PBA with UTEX?
No, immediately after that season. That's why it was a double championship for us.
Yeah.
Actually, I started in UTEX in 1977, kami ni Tommy. We were runner-ups. First time we entered the finals, we were runner-ups to the great Chris Paradmanizers, and they beat us 3-0. But then we came back and beat them in 78 3-0 also.
Yeah,
Yes.
okay.
As Tony Valenzuela points out here, tama.
Yeah.
1978 Open. So
May
yeah,
mga-
that was the first
they were-
team na hindi Toyota or Crispa na
Yes.
nanalo.
Yes.
Followed by
nakapasok.
Royal True Orange.
Correct. Yung Royal
Larry
Dina Otto Moore.
Pounce and Otto Moore.
Yes. Doc, there are certain players, no, na parang sinusundan kayong dalawa ni Tommy. Is that by design? Like si Limeng Beng, di ba, si Fritz Gaston, si Etok, si Tony Dasalia, parang they went from UTEX and then they went to yung iba, San Miguel, wherever you were going, no? And then Fritz Gaston, late, hanggang Manila Beer, kasama mo si Fritz Gaston.
Yeah, because I thought that there was a lot of respect for Tommy as a coach. After the 80 championship with UTEX, Tommy decided that he wanted to give San Miguel a try, right? And actually, I went with him that year. I worked for San Miguel, your sponsor, for 81 in 1981.
Right.
Before leaving and going to television in 1982. It was a fun year. The late Skip Ginto was there, good person. Sining Ramos, their former coach, was also with us. So we had great memories with these people. And San Miguel has always been a franchise. He's 75, never left. No? They may have changed their names from time to time, but they never left. They were really very consistent in supporting the league.
I'm just curious, Doc, because you were an assistant coach, Doc, for UTEX, yun yung designation nyo, and SMB. Were you really involved in the practices every day? And like the assistant coaches now that we know, ang katutak, andun ka talaga, you're there doing strategy also with them, ganyan?
Yeah, of course. That's the reason why, like I said, in the old days, remember, Araneta is parang mecca of yung basketball natin.
Yes.
And yung lower box natin is a nice place, di ba? Yung ringside. But lower box is always nicer to watch. First of all, there are only 4 or 5 rows at a time. And you're looking at the middle. It's wider panorama of the view. I'm the only one scouting.
Yeah.
So when it came to the game time, before the game, what a lot of people do now, I draw all the plays of the opponents. And that included in practices. So when they call, let's say you call number 2 or you call what, we already knew what they were doing. That's why we triggered our game on our defensive game, you know. And that's why the scores were not really that high. Of course, when the imports came in, minsan dalawa-dalawa pa nga yung import ng pinag-championan namin, medyo, of course, tataas ang scoring.
Right. Okay. So you experienced, with that being part of the team, no? As a
I have
manager,
a
a coach.
question.
Sige.
Okay na ba yung internet ko?
Well, we'll see.
no?
Go ahead. Go
Okay.
magtanong ka na.
Kasi kanina pa naglolo ko yung internet ko. Sorry, Doc.
Sige,
No,
Yeah,
you were on the teams, ano, yung mga as a manager, mga ganun. But what prompted you to enter broadcasting in 1981?
No, 82. That was the year Vintage took over from the old franchisee.
Good question. Good
82.
These
question.
are my old
Yeah.
friends, June. Si Steve Catan. I have a lot of hair there. Joe and Pingoy Pengson,
Yeah.
who became our vice president for in charge of production.
Yeah,
I you have a nice picture. I still have these albums. I have 2 or 3 of these albums ng mga old Sports Weekly natin. But anyway, I wanted to grow. Actually, I was scared. No? I said, baka hindi ako mapunta. I might not make it. But I said I wanted to do something that parang directly involved in influencing. See, and very fortunate na nung nag-try out ako sa Vintage, late na ako eh. They knew that they were going to get the franchise in 82.
Okay.
So they started training these sportscasters and auditioning them since late November. And I only decided that I'd give it a try sometime in January. So there was simulation with the games, sound off, you talk. And fortunately, they found me, they found me, and you can ask the dean that actually, because he was also a consultant for Vintage. And Kinito certainly helped out a lot. No?
Pero Doc, how did you find out? Were there like parang open auditions na in-announce or?
Yeah, there were auditions, but I never thought about it because I had a job. I was also happy with what I'm doing. It's if you have ever been like a part of a team wherein you go there every day in practice, you go to the games, you prepare, you talk to the players. It's not something that you want to leave. First of all, it's not a very hard work. At the same time, something that you really enjoy. So I had my doubts, and I didn't really believe maybe can I translate? You are a broadcaster, all of you know. Everybody understands the game. All of I'm sure all of our viewers, but not everybody has that gift given by God that you can translate what you see and quickly out of your mouth because you don't have the whole day to talk about something.
Tama.
So I'm very grateful that I was given that opportunity.
Right. And until now nga, I just mentioned it kanina at the top of the show. Hanggang ngayon, no, si Doc, very active pa rin. Kaka-partner lang namin the other day. And after all these years, you're still there. But but we're going back to this. We love the nice outfits that you're wearing on TV Times with the big collars and the open chest and all of that. But so you're there working as a panelist now. And how did that change your relationship with all the players and the coaches?
I've almost always had very good relationships with players up to this very day. And I know you know that, Charlie, because you see a lot of them greet me like, I don't want to say elder brother na lang, wag na lang father.
Ninong.
Nagmamano pa But I have had always good relationships with the players. Even though sometimes, and you have worked with me, and even you, Noel, have worked with me, I'm not really a very critical person. I can be critical, but I think because I've learned over the years how to be a constructive, critical person. Because I only want to help the guy. I do not want to bring him down, And that's the reason why. Like, for example, I was just telling you, yesterday I was talking with Romeo before his game. I did the first game, the second game. And he asked me, Ay, Sir Andy, and everything. And this goes back to the years when he was in FEU. Hindi naman kami magkasama, hindi naman kami magkaibigan, but there is that respect. So he asked me something, and fortunately for him, next time I'll see him, I said, yeah, the record playoff game.
Yeah, Doc, whatever you told him last night worked, kasi he did not miss a single 3-point shot. Yeah. 5 out of 5 siya kagabi sa 3 points.
But he had that confidence yesterday. And once it flowed to his body, he's a person that you cannot stop. Yeah. He's like a cash register. Pag nag-umpisa na yung kanyang
Sunod-sunod na, yung nangyari kagabi. So he brought them to victory. But there's this, was there a time may controversies yata? There was a lot of criticism from fans when the vintage group took over. Hindi sila sanay kasi. Iba yung style kasi nila Emmy, nila Dick Ildefonso. You guys came in, you changed it up a bit. I don't know what this article was about. That's the headline.
Yeah.
A tragic joke. I don't know what the story was about really, but so what did you hear? Kasi wala mang social media nung panahon na yun, Doc, but what did you hear from fans? What were people saying? Did they like your coverage? What were their comments?
Yeah. I understand this. There's always a saying, it's hard for people to accept something that is new. Okay? There was a difference with our way of coverage. Not the late. Dick Ildefonso was a very good anchorman. I even had the chance to work with him in the Asian Youth, which we won also in that year.
82. Yeah.
Okay? Emmy, the late Emmy, yes, he was also a friend. He did a different thing. His color was a different thing. It's not analytic, which was what Vintage wanted to do, to make people understand. And I'm sure that right now, all of those people there appreciate what was given them in the early years. Now, I don't have perfect English either, okay? It's been better over the years. Sometimes you have a tendency to mutter. Oh, my dog is... Anyway, you have a tendency to mutter. So it's really very different. There are a lot of these sports people that wrote. And they became my friends actually after a while. That's the way of life. That when you learn how to be with them, you explain to them and everything. I'll tell you the honest truth. It's really hard. Medyo hindi naman maganda. But there was a guy there who is a great writer, had a great following. And, Mr. Beles, Bobong, always wanted to be friends with everybody. And, he knew how to associate with these people. So, they felt that medyo hindi ganin ang gusto ng Pilipino or whatever, yung may analyst, gano'n and everything. But we were very, very careful. Hindi naman kami, for example, the ratio usually was like 60 for the anchorman and 40. They probably felt that we did not have the knowledge of the game for these people. And that minsan nagkakamali ka, you have a tendency. Facing the camera for the first couple of times, not easy. You can ask anybody that.
Yes,
I
sir.
used to tell all the girls that do the courtside that. But never be afraid of it. So, in time, there was we had an award. And we asked one of these sports writers, written na ito, all you have to do was read it. To give the award, with the speech, sort of appreciation, everything. He was not even able to read it correctly. And then he understood the difficulty of working without any, I mean, like you said, wala namang computers. The only thing I had was a scorer sometimes, the things. But very little notes, there were preparation, because we had weekly meetings about this. Kung anong mali mo, we're trying to correct, so on and so forth. So until the time we became very, very at home working already. I worked a lot of games on the very first year we worked. I used to work two games a day. Yeah. And for the last 6 months, I was working alone with 2 different anchormen. Kasi si Katan went back to New York to do some business. So, mag-isa lang ako dyan.
Yeah. So, sunod-sunod, no? Kaya nahasa ka rin agad. Gumaling ka rin agad. Diba? Well, nanonood si Andy Fields. Thanks for watching.
Oh, my friend.
Di ba?
My friend, one of the most lovable imports ever.
Yes.
Magaling na, mabait pa. I think
Tama.
Ako, I have a
in
question.
little Tagalog.
I have a
Nakasmile pa
question, Doc.
palagi. Nakasmile pa palagi yan si
Yeah.
Andrew P.
Yes.
Oo.
Go, Noel.
I have a
Yeah,
question
I
lang.
love him.
I'm
I
not
love
sure if
him.
my internet is holding right now. How did they discover Steve Catan? Vintage. How did Vintage
Oh, he
bring
came and
about Steve
applied by
Catan?
himself.
He applied.
He
Okay.
applied by himself. There were, of course,
Oh,
syempre,
but
meron kang mga leaflets or advertising on that you were looking for so and so, and the sports writers would write this down that this is guy coming in, they wanted to.
Okay.
Yeah, he
Sometimes
also-
it's a nice place because you can talk about things na, casually. He
Oh,
came into Bobogay and said,
Uh-oh.
I am the answer to what you're looking for.
wow.
Yeah,
But
with
I
his,
was
with his
already part.
meron siyang accent eh. He's got that Brooklyn
Yeah.
accent going
He's
on.
a New Yorker. He's
Yeah,
a New
yeah.
Yorker, yeah.
Kasi, sabi niya si
Yeah.
Arnie Twaddles. Si Arnie
Twaddle.
Twaddles.
But
Arnie
he's
Twaddles.
okay. He's a nice person.
Yeah.
Di ba?
Yeah.
But nawala rin naman siya
Believe
agad.
lang ako how much he knew about he knew
Yes.
about the players when he was talking. I was watching as a kid. Parang, how does this American know all of the
He had
Filipino
business
players? I mean,
here.
did he
So
really
was quite-
research?
he was,
Okay.
no,
May business pala.
he has been here. So he had business here. I think he was working for a firm that did business in the Philippines. So he'd been here for a while, and he's been watching the game. So obviously a good sports follower, mahilig rin sa basketball. So,
Yeah. So as you were going along, you're part of the panel, may konting. At the start, hindi kayo matanggap. Eventually, natanggap na ng tao na ganun pala yun, anchor analyst. Let's start talking
Yeah.
about different people that you worked with,
Yeah.
no? During that time. You met them for the first time, or maybe not for the first time,
Yeah.
but worked with them for the first time. Like this guy, this Smoking Joe, di ba? With the great voice and all the nice poetry when he speaks and all of that. But he
Naka-open
wasn't
pa yung
nakabukas
polo
pa,
niya.
Nakabukas pa yung polo niya. Pero hindi naman siya basketball
Hey,
guy.
hindi kita yung brandy. May brandy yan dyan.
Oh, he didn't know so
No,
much
no,
about
no, no, no,
basketball.
no,
eh.
no.
Diba? He didn't know so much about basketball. Boxing yan eh.
Yeah.
So, di ba, kaya nung umpisa, nahihirapan siya. Hindi niya alam kung ano yung traveling as opposed to a foul, ganyan. So, how was that? How was it working with this guy?
I accepted, first of all, because of his stature as a sports commentator. Sometimes you feel, all of us, I felt we were in awe. The idea, of course, I think of Vintage at the time was to bring a guy that medyo kilala na, no? So, para madali ang pagkakilos. He is my kumpare, actually. He's the godfather of my first son, Atom. And we became very good friends. And he accepted that I knew a little bit more than he did, especially about the game. But you also know me, Charlie, I can correct without offending my partner, which is what I did. The only thing I've always corrected, even up to the present day, which I did last night, was a factual thing.
Yes.
I don't like to correct yung sarili mong opinion or whatever, but kung yung facts, we cannot get that wrong because the viewer is not going to accept that. I made a lot of mistakes, but sometimes mga partners ko do not want to correct me. There are others that do, and I thank them for that because we accept that everybody is human. And I'm getting older. I'm not young anymore. My memory is not the same as before.
Still very sharp. Still very sharp.
Thank you.
Pwede pa rin, di ba? So si Joe Candade nga with the voice and all of that, di ba? Iba rin talaga siya.
But Joe had really the good,
Yeah.
as an announcer, wala kang masasabi. Great voice, could communicate, great humor. I can play with people. I can play with a guy that has a lot of humor, but I can also work with a guy that very serious type, no? So for me, it became very easy. And I thought that I may have had some friends, maybe you wouldn't say enemies, people who weren't really a fan of yours, but okay lang sa akin yan. That's part of it.
That's right. Gaganda ng mga comments tungkol kay Doc sa mga comment box natin. Grabe.
They're very generous.
Well, you're very well loved, Doc. Kita mo, tsaka tagal mo nga sa
Thank you. Hopefully.
Yeah.
May isang-
Our friend
may isang
Gino Rufino is also watching. Hello.
I
Gino.
was with him last night.
Yeah.
Did they
Go
win,
Dodgers daw.
Gino? I had to leave it. They were up 1-0. We were talking about this.
Oh, did they win daw ba, Gino? The Dodgers, your Dodgers.
Yung iba nagko-comment, guys. hindi yata nanonood ng PBA nowadays. Sabi nung isa, sana maging active ulit bilang PBA commentator si Doc. Active na active eh. Manood po kasi kayo. Andyan siya everyday
He was
halos.
just
Active yan.
on TV last night.
Diba?
Well, I
Yeah.
don't
Okay.
play golf anymore because I had some problems with my elbow. And the guy that I love to play with, my closest friend, passed away. So my life just changed. You know what happens when somebody close to you, it's like a brother and pass away. Parang nag-iiba buhay mo.
Yeah. Top up 2-0 daw, top of the ninth, Doc.
Yeah, 2-0. I have it on pin on score because I'm talking with you guys. I was joking with him about it. I just can't say no to the guys anymore because I tried to delay this thing so much.
Salamat.
I owe them this.
Let's talk about some...
Bertie
Doc,
Licenan lang yung asking
Doc,
very
I have a
quickly
question
lang.
naman about Yeah.
Chris Cross.
Si Pingoy magaling yan.
Go ahead, Sid.
Pingoy
Bertie
magaling yan.
Licenan lang yung asking.
Not only is he a good anchorman, he has great knowledge of the game. He studies hard, and he has perfect command of the language, especially the English language. He's also, he can be humorous at times. So it was very easy for everybody to work because the idea of being an anchorman is to be able to lay the foundation for your analyst. And he was always very, very supportive. Kung sino man makasama niya, you can ask all the people that you work with. So, like, remember, nalagay pa siya sa Time Magazine dahil yun sa kanyang phrase, di ba? Noel, you should know that.
Yeah.
Cardiac game.
It's a cardiac game. It's a cardiac game.
Cardiac finish.
And I believe he was very underrated, no? Kasi everybody was talking about Joe Cantada and The Voice and all of that. But Bingoy Pengson was really great in his own right, no? Ibang-iba yung style niya kay Joe, pero ang galing talaga ng delivery din. Saka yung mga terminology nga, katulad ng cardiac game, among others.
Very high personality kasi si Joe. Si Joe is almost like Big J. You either love him or you hate him. But many people love him. More people love him than people hate him. So malakas ang kanyang personalidad.
How about June Bernardino, Doc?
June Bernardino.
How about June Bernardino? How did he come into the broadcast team?
No, he was there ahead of me. Actually, silang dalawa ni Waki was ahead of me when they applied. Okay, they went to it. And June actually worked the first few months. It was actually the thing that was wrong with us. We were a 3-man panel. That's why even to this day, it's difficult. Charlie, we have that in the finals, hindi ba? Wherein we have a guest analyst. It's really hard because yung timing takes time. It's not, you can't do it with practice lang. I mean, it has to be within the game. That's why yung guest analyst, for me, for example, when I work with Tim Cone, Tim has a tendency to talk a lot as a third analyst. But Tim also worked as an analyst before solo. And when he has a tendency when he talks too much, he's holding my legs. So parang I'm saying, I'm sorry, Andy. But I can flow and guide it. When I work with Ryan, and then the anchorman, medyo kami naman ni RG, we have medyo maganda timing. In other words, because of the fact that I'm already there, and they are like guests in this sense, at the time when they were still coaching or doing other things, I give way. I give a lot of opportunities for them to express what they want. Now, that was the problem. That's why you had that thing in the beginning, a farce, because of the 3 things. Parang naging mahirap. And June Bernardino was one of my partners. Waki was the other guy. And then, of course, Steve. So it was not a very good mixture. Kumbaga sa plaka, yung sounds hindi maganda eh. So eventually we went single na lang. And then June went on to be a man of the ball because they felt that his personality was better for that than talking about the games.
Right. And what I like here is that they used to give you your suits. Tailor-made uniform. Ngayon, kanya-kanya tayo, Doc. Pero that time,
uniform yun.
Nagpaparinig ka yata eh. Yeah, they did. There were a lot of well-known tailors that wanted to be part of it. Parang they wanted to be, I won't name them anymore. Maybe some, but they gave us nice suits. And Bobong always used to buy us ties when he went abroad. Tapos regalo, Andy, Kinito, so, Seb, so.
At saka yung mga kulay, kakaiba rin, no? Stand out, tinan mo, di ba? Yung light-colored suit with a green tie, di ba?
Yeah.
Pero uniform, so okay lang, di ba?
We have an interesting comment here from the son of Yoyoy, Williamin.
I miss Yoyoy. Yoyoy was one of the...
Inaanak mo yata, Doc, eh. Hello po, Ninong Andy, eh. Oh, di ba?
Yoyoy was, pati kay Etok Lobo also, but I know he went to the Chicago. I don't know if he's back.
Yeah.
He was back about a year ago. Anyway, Yoyoy was one of the toughest players I ever knew. Yan ang talagang na-spray na yan, naglalaro pa yan. Literally, yung bote, gano'n, yung kinakuwento ni Noel minsan. Literally, talagang iba ang puso niyan. Iba ang puso. Oh my.
Yeah.
Oh my
So, your inaanak was saying na nagpadala, ikaw ba or si Yoyoy, nagpadala ng isang truck daw ng beer.
This was in Manila Beer. Madali na yun.
Nung binyag niya, nagpadala ka na isang truck ng beer. Madali lang yun. Isang tawag lang yun. Diba?
Usually, isang case
Yun din ang isa kong question, Doc.
Truck.
Yun din ang isang question ko, Doc. You were broadcasting already, but you still dabbled into team management, tapos eventually naging commissioner ka rin. I mean, what drew you to these jobs besides being a broadcaster and besides being doing the stuff that you do already on a personal level?
Well, I'm sure that all of you, if you had the opportunity to augment your income, you would, right? And there certainly was a need. I had a family, Broadcasting didn't pay me much. If I told you how much I used to get in the early years, minus the withholding tax, baka matawa ka pa. And that was doing 2 games a day. But of course, money was different at the time, but still not that far away. Even if you inflate it for present day, it's not that big. So you had that opportunity, you had to grow. And I wanted to win a championship. Unfortunately, I was not able to win a championship for Asia Brewery, certainly because of eventually naging kaibigan ko. And actually a good friend, the Big J. He won his first championship as a coach with Ginebra at the time, the franchise of Honey Boy Palanca. But you want to grow. I was getting to be about 30 something, early 30s, and I wanted to. The managerial part was there, Commissioner, of course, nasa na yan, kung napili ka, ganun. It's not within your control. I never applied. I never applied for any of this. It was just presented to you, and eventually I took it. Because it was a challenge. And I thought that I could do something about it.
Right. Dami nanonood, daming comments. Ay, grabe yung comments natin ngayon. Sobra. Itong batang kasama mo rito na may birthday ngayon sa kanan. Yung sa kanan mo, Doc.
Happy birthday ka sa statistician.
Si Willie Marshall. Birthday niya ngayon. Kahapon ko pa binabati yan. Pero maraming pagkain pinadala kahapon yan. Look at how young he is. Tignan mo yung buhok niya. Yesterday, nagbibiro ako. Senior ka na yata. Wala naman sagot.
Yung nasa kaliwa mo, Doc, tinan mo, parang nakapumada pa si Mr. Sarmenta.
Seb, wow.
Batang-bata pa talaga sa dyan.
Ngayon yung anak ni Seb, kasama ko na sa broadcasting.
He came several years after you, di ba? Mga 4 or 5 years after you, pumasok si Seb.
Seb, about 4 or 5 years after.
Ganda rin ang boses, di ba? Maganda rin ang boses ni...
But Seb is one of the best. Now a lot of people are really, almost all of the guys that work with us on the anchor side, they're all super, very knowledgeable. Style maybe could be better for some, but very knowledgeable. Iba na ngayon At that time, talagang Seb may be one of the best. Si Seb, mahilig rin katulad ko niyan because I'm a lover of literature. Like to use a lot of phrases. I don't do it anymore now as much as possible. But before I would throw in phrases that, you learn from school and you always take with you that you think is applicable to the game or to the sport itself.
Right. And he worked last night. He said worked last night's game, the nice
with
game.
Kinito, He went home late. Sumobra tagal ng laro.
Overtime. Overtime. So hanggang ngayon, overtime pa rin si Seb Sarmenta. And he knows nga that you're the guest today. I wonder if he's watching right now. How about Seb? I mean, he came along. They said he was a Joe Cantada sound-alike. What can you say about that?
Because Seb is a great mimic artist. Sabihin mo sa kanya bukas, i-imitate yung sinasabi ni Coach Chot sa practice.
Yeah.
Or Coach Yeng. Kayang-kaya niya yan.
Magaling siya dyan.
Yes,
magaling siya dyan.
Actually, kahit si Kinito, kuhang-kuha niya eh.
Si Kinito, kuha niya.
He's something else, you know. Those are talents that are given to you.
Ang hindi lang na-imitate ni Seb, Dr. J.
Ano?
Ang hindi lang na-imitate ni Seb, si Dr. J.
Hindi, out of respect. Out of respect na lang yun. Hindi na lang niya ginagawa.
Akala mo lang yun.
Akala mo lang yun, behind their back.
I know him.
Pare
ko rin yan. Actually, inaanak niya yung isang anak kong babae.
Yeah. So it's crazy. He's still, the nice thing is we're seeing guys in these photos who are still with us until now, no? Aside from Dr. J, di ba? I mean, si Seven dyan.
Yeah.
Of course, wala na si Joe, wala na rin si Pingoy. They passed away long ago. But Willie Marshall is now the commissioner, imagine.
Bernardino also not with us anymore.
Oo nga, nawala.
But we still have some of the cameraman of the old days working for us.
Sila Willie, nandiyan pa rin.
That's true.
May mga remnants pa rin, Doc, nung vintage na nasa atin pa rin hanggang ngayon. Ano?
Or Solar and so on and so forth.
Yeah, that's right.
With our producers. And
I think this is the last photo of our first half of our time capsule.
Even the directors.
Yeah, let's just remind everybody that we're part of the Globally Ballin Network, and another show on the network is Who the Heck Are We? And they are in the UAAP now. Join Claro, Diego, and Juancho as they journey through the UAAP Season 87 Men's Basketball Tournament. Exclusive interviews yan, snippets of the games. Follow the social media on FB, IG, and TikTok. Check them out. O ba? Yung UAAP na yan. Baka may makita kayong bata na Juancho. Medyo magaling yun. Watch and listen. An Eternity of Basketball on Spotify. Enjoy the show. Send us some love and rate us on Spotify. 5-star rating lang po, Become an AEOB Podcast monthly supporter. $4.99 or 250 pesos. Pakiclick na lang yan. We'll recognize you in your future episodes. Love you forever. Top 8 AEOB Podcast episodes. Benji Paras is at number 1. All the way down to Tim Cone, Gayoso. Yung usapang Smoking Joe natin, Doc. Andyan dyan sa top natin. Like and follow Globally Ballin Southeast Asia on Facebook for tidbits of all the shows on the Globally Ballin Network. Sabak na tayo. Second half ng time capsule.
Yep.
Ito naman, pag-usapan natin, isa pang wala na rin recently, Ed Picson. Ayan. Si Boss Ed na, Doc, ito si, okay ba si Doc? O nag-freeze? Ay, nag-freeze.
Nag-freeze yata si Doc.
Nag-freeze yata si Doc.
Yeah. So in the meantime, I'm sure he's
ayan, okay.
Doc, ito naman, si Ed Picson naman ang kasama mo rito.
Yeah. It's another guy that we miss. Did a lot of the radio. But eventually, napagbigyan rin. He certainly has a great voice. Also a great sense of humor, basta't gusto niya. But he's also a guy that's very straight pag nag-a-announce. Wonder why my face is like that. Siguro galing ako, naglaro ako ng golf doon, kaya nasubo.
Tama yun.
But Ed is also a golfer. Probably same class. And we miss him. He has also great, yung mga anecdotes as well as yung mga lines na minsan nakakagulat. He's also a great announcer sa boxing. Magaling talaga sa boxing niya. That's why he really enjoys that. In the basketball, all of the guys that I work with, they studied hard when it came to preparation and everything. It was not like, nowadays, like I'm a little bit lazy now. I go there. I go early, but I look at all the things that are planned by our producers and so on and so forth. But in the old days, I think most of my fellow announcers, they studied very hard. They were very well versed in statistics. Remember, wala pang computers noon, so walang kodigo. And I still don't use it up to now. No? Hindi ko talaga ginagamit yan because hindi na ako nasanay dyan.
Referee Jeff Tantay is also watching. Tawag niya sa'yo si Con.
One of my boys. One of my boys. Hi, Jeff.
Diba?
Kasama
ko si Lina Lobo rin, Doc. Asawa ni Etok.
Ito, asawa ni Etok. Maring Lina, kamusta ka dyan? Peace be with you.
We have a really good audience to.
Great audience
morning.
today with so much nice words to say about our guest and and occasionally about us also, di ba? Di ba? So
Yeah,
ito,
I did. I remember. Hey, do you know last night, just, since we're casual, I
yeah.
met a guy who's about 6'2". I was telling mga kasamahan ko, he wanted to have a selfie. So I said, of course, yes. Even though medyo in a hurry. And then he said, could you believe my name is also Andrew Howe?
Oh, wow.
Nagulat ako. We're not related, no? Sabi ko gano'n. I
Yan
shook
ang
his hand,
tokayo.
welcome. Oh, welcome to the
tokayo.
club. Sabi ko gano'n. It's about 6'2". I'm only about 5'10", no?
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
welcome to the club, sabi ko. Sabi ko, who are you for? Of course, rain or shine. Siguro, medyo baka may affiliation siya doon sa kumpanya or somewhere or another.
Yeah.
But it's a great coincidence, hindi ba?
George, I need to ask Doc, no? When you met your tokayo, no, Andrew, but you're 5'10", so when you were playing back in high school, in college, anong position mo?
More of like a bigger player, you know.
Oh, exactly,
I couldn't score a lick. I couldn't score a shot to save my life. I can make some free throws, but I thought that I could defend a little bit there. That's something that maybe that also carried on later on sa the way I was scouting. Try to map up defenses.
Doc, si Mang Roy nanonood. Speaking of vintage days, no? And statistician.
Si Mang Roy,
nanonood.
Ay, Roy Lopez.
Happy birthday. Si Roy
Wala
Lopez.
ka kagabi. Yeah.
Happy birthday.
Tagal na rin yan. Good scorer.
Oh, yeah. One of the best. Wala tayong problema dyan, Doc.
Espuch Maniego, Quinito, Chino.
Yeah.
Oh.
And Ahmad Rashad when he was in town.
Ahmad
Rashad. And that's Randy Sakdalan, correct?
Yeah, Randy
Yeah,
Sakdalan, yes.
and Anthony at the back.
Anthony.
Si
Ito na yung next
pinaka-top.
generation. Ito na yung 90s, 90s na vintage. If I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, you can look at the ties and
90s
you know
na to.
what year it is.
Yeah. And the shirts also. Look at Anthony.
Butch always wears those kinds of ties.
Slim pa dito si Quinito, no? Just like me.
Kamukha niya, yung anak niya ngayon, kamukha siya ni Kale. Ganyan itsura ni Kale Suntay ngayon. What Anthony look like? Yan si Kale ngayon.
Si Anthony. Anthony Santay.
Power ties. So you got an opportunity, Doc, through the years working with all these great guys. But speaking of Ahmad Rashad, let's talk about your experiences, not only in the Philippines, but abroad as well. No, you were sent to the NBA Finals, All-Star Game also, I think. Basta you were able to cover all those abroad. Tell us about those experiences, Doc, going abroad.
Which one? Which Coliseum?
NBA Finals, yung mga NBA assignments niyo.
I work 5 NBA Finals and 2 or 3 All-Star Games. All-Star Game is a joke, It's just for fun, I went to Atlanta, New Orleans, and things like that. But the NBA Finals is a different thing, especially the year of 97, 98. Yeah, the last 2 years of Jordan. He was the most popular athlete on earth, at that time. And there were so many countries that came to cover, he was, it was a big thing. The NBA was as its bloom because of the guy, the way they marketed him, and because of the way he played. And it was really very fortunate for Quinito and I to go. Now, Quinito became the anchor man because I don't do that well. So I said, ikaw nang anchor, ako na lang analyst, okay? And we had a very good tandem together. Now, the point there is we enjoyed that because those first time na ang Filipino na napadala doon, doing it on site, with Italians, French guys that we met, even Russians, Japanese. They were very well treated. May sarili pa silang box. They rented the box by themselves. So they had 2 cameras. They had a car for themselves so they could play golf in the morning and work at night. I mean, they were just a class. Yung nipo niya, I don't know kung LHK or whatever, but they were really treated well. We because of the way we enjoyed it, it's really fun. And, to be on the ground and look at these players at that level, although pagdating ng coverage ng All-Star, ng finals, malayo ka. All the coliseums do not provide for the broadcasters to work downstairs. In the All-Star, they give you that. They make you at the level kasi hindi naman masyado maraming tao, so they don't clear out the seats. But here, malayo ka. But before we start, may tinatawag kami stand-upper for 2 minutes. And you're about there for 30, 40 minutes. Dahil pila kayo eh. 2 minutes every country. And there were a lot of countries. But it's a great opportunity because you see the players who are allowed to go to practices. There's also media day before the game, may mga practices siya. And there was a media day. So it was really something else. But you can see the level of the game eh. Iba eh. Diba? The tension, the way the crowd is. Kasi yan puro home court yan, diba? Either home court or away ka, home court or away. And you can see the crowd is really into it. I thought those were some of the glory years of the NBA. And prior to that, of course, was the Magic and Bird tandem, no? The matchup nila. But this was the best at that time. It was really something. You should experience it.
Speaking of the best, back-to-back Bulls, You covered back-to-back Bulls.
Yeah.
You covered back-to-back Bulls Jazz finals, 97 and 98.
Yeah, back-to-back Bulls and Jazz.
Those were some really great series. Which particular game among those games really stood out for you?
Well, it's not, like I said, I'm not as young as before, no? So your memory of the, I thought the first one, yung pinasa ni Jordan kay Steve Kerr.
Steve Kerr, yeah.
He knew he was going to be double teamed. And I didn't know that was the coaching staff na nag-usap pala sila that get ready, I'm going to get you the ball. No? And the guy made the shot. No? So all of a sudden, Steve Kerr became a household. But pero the way that Jordan fed it. Then the one in Utah afterwards, when I thought Utah was strong, I think Utah came in as number 1 seed overall record, no? After the 98 yata. When he stole the ball away from Karl Malone, who was posting up. And all of a sudden, he came from behind. And then he made the shot. And he was literally ill. That's true, A lot of people say, inaarte lang ni Jordan, remember that day, the great game, 30-something or whatever. Sabi, inaarte. Can't sleep, eh. In Utah, the fans are also ibang klase. As a matter of fact, in those years, Utah was the loudest coliseum. It was the Delta Center at the time. The loudest coliseum in the whole NBA. And those crowd would go there to his hotel room and they'd be playing all night. They'd be playing music all night. Yung katulog ng mga players ng kalaban. But, there's fanaticism at that time. And tickets were very expensive. If you're complaining about tickets, you should imagine how much tickets were there. And at that time, that's 1997, 98. That's a joke.
Yeah. Doc, binabati ka ni Rino Salazar.
Oy, partner, kamusta na? The guy who never wears socks.
Ganun ba yun? Ganun ba yun?
I don't know if he's still in. I know he went to Alaska. I don't know if he. I know he.
Nasa Vegas. Nasa Vegas na ngayon.
Vegas daw ngayon.
Nasa Vegas. Retired, Retired. Nice to retire in Vegas.
Speaking of retired, Doc, yes, of course, Baile Desma.
Referee Ledesma.
Yes.
Referee Ledesma.
Grabe, naglabasan lahat ng mga former guests natin ngayon.
Yeah, I love him. Yeah. I was very, very good. Very good.
Yeah. Right. And here's
So
another
question ko
This
naman
is
is
the
about
picture
vintage,
that I
about
love.
vintage enterprises when this group of gentlemen, were put together. Yeah.
This
So
picture I
expanded
really
now.
Talk about
love.
the special bond dito sa vintage. I mean, I was part of this also, so I understand this.
Yeah.
Pero what did Bobong Velez bring to the game that revolutionized Philippine basketball?
He was hands-on. Hands-on in a way na hindi naman nagagalit, If he ever raised his voice on anybody, it was I didn't see it, no. Never in a way na medyo mapapahirapan ka. But the point there was, you have weekly meetings, even though it was already smooth flowing na kami after a year or two. Kinito, naka-green na. You know why?
Oo. Siyempre, siyempre.
It's Bobong. We would still have meetings on Saturdays. Yeah, Saturdays. Ganon. Go over some of the notes. Kung anong mga dapat gawin, anong tama and everything. Everybody that had any input to make about suggestions for making it better, it was done. That's why it became it became something that you were part of and that you loved it and that you wanted to contribute to become better.
Right.
This picture I love. There's another picture that we had a photograph in a studio that we had, but I don't see it right now. I don't know if I have it somewhere.
I think I've seen that as well, but hindi namin nasali rito sa aming gallery. May buhok pa raw si Coach Yang, yes. Andyan na nga.
Yeah.
And also, and then na-point out nga ni James T na wala si Sev dyan kasi nasa NBA na siya. 1998 daw ito.
Yeah.
So,
Oh, James, oy!
Yeah.
James T.
See, he moved to the NBA in 1998. Yeah.
That's right, that's right. So is Ronnie Natanios, the Rattling Run, andyan. Sino pa? Barry Pasqua.
Yeah, Barry Pasqua.
I'm looking lang
Barry
sinong...
Pasqua.
Randy.
Boro.
Si Noli Ayala, nandyan, oh.
Yeah.
Si Randy.
Monliboro behind
Monliboro,
Noli.
si Coach Yeng, Anthony.
Alchua.
Si Al Francis ba ito?
Dyan.
Alchua yan,
Oh, si Al Francis. Kita mo naman, haba pa rin ang buhok
Francis.
hanggang ngayon.
Tama sa panel.
Mas mahaba ngayon. Dati hindi matali masyado eh. Dito lang. Ngayon, nakatali ng ganyan. Pero yan, yung green suit talaga ni Kinito. I wonder kung...
There are 5
He
gentlemen in this picture who are no longer with us, by the way.
Yeah. Well, that's the way of the world. Diba? Baliktot yung tie ni Anthony. Hindi nakagitna eh. Oh. Hindi sinabihan ng photographer. So, like I said, you got to work.
Nakipagharutan kasi kay Chino bago mag-shoot.
Yeah, look at those ties. My God. Talagang kakaiba.
Yan ang forma ko nun.
What an honor,
Nasa
Doc,
Makati pa ako nun eh.
to be part of this group. Isipin nyo, when you were starting out in 1982, parang kukontinue lang and then suddenly you have this group of gentlemen who are all very good at their work. How much of an honor was it being part of the Vintage Enterprises, pa noong time na Vintage Enterprises team na eventually became VTV?
You're talking about being part of the games?
Being part of this entire Vintage experience.
Yeah. It's great. It
Yes,
has
Doc,
always
about
been a
being
great
part of the
experience.
Vintage group.
No, I'm very grateful. I'm very grateful to have had that opportunity. Actually, if you look at this group, I'm the most senior there right now. That picture that you're showing, ako ang nag-umpisa niyan eh. When it started, none of those guys were there in 82.
Right.
83,
Yeah. Wala na sila
84.
Pingoy, Joe, wala na sila dyan.
Except si Bobo.
Yes.
But it was really a great pleasure and honor. You don't realize how much you love a thing until maybe some people say you lose it. So I don't want to lose it as much as possible. And I've lost some of these friends. May God be merciful to them, and take care of them. But the point there is, yung pinagsamahan namin, kumbaga using the phrase of your sponsor, is something else.
Diba may pinagsamahan?
We went out together, had fun together. I don't drink anymore, but before I did. But at that time, you had all those things where you would discuss. You're human beings rin naman kami. So we laugh and we enjoyed our lives. So, but more than anything, we were glad and appreciative that we could always impart to the public kung ano nalalaman namin. And we never took it for granted. Kami lahat, I'm sure of that. We never took it for granted, and we worked hard to be what we were.
Yeah.
Doc, I have a question. In your more than 40 years of being a basketball analyst, what would be your most memorable parang blooper on air?
Blooper? Madami. Dami. I cannot remember. Like I said, I have a good memory, and I certainly would not want to remember those. But there have been many. Even up to this day, I still make blooper. But nothing nothing that I would like to remember. I would say sometimes yung mistaking. We all make mistakes especially sa mga pangalan. We have a tendency sa bilis natin mag-isip na nagkakamali tayo. Kaya naman pumapasok ang partner mo na, like I said, facts yan Facts have to be corrected on the air. But you can always do it in a way na hindi you won't offend your partner, and neither will I feel offended if I was. And I'm fortunate na yung mga kasamahan ko naman have been very, appreciative of the fact that I realized na lahat tayo nagkakamali. So bloopers marami. Misuse a word. Try to look for a word that you cannot find in English.
Yeah.
And then I have to go to Tagalog, which is, I'm just as comfortable. You know the word in Tagalog, but you don't know how it's to be translated in English or the English word for it. So, madalas mangyari yun. Di ba? So, pasensya na kayo pag inabot yun.
Yeah, it does happen. But sa akin naman, we've talked about, you're being a game analyst and that's what you're really known for, Doc. But we talked about nag-manager ka, nag-assistant coach ka. How about yung pagiging commissioner nyo sa ibang mga liga, PBL, NCAA, UAAP? Can we talk about that a little? I mean, you said it was presented to you, tinanggap mo as a challenge. But how was that? Kasi you don't stay there for several years. It's a one-year thing usually. Stressful ba?
The PBL was okay. Para bang NBA yan needs and WNBA to get that, or G League, the PBL was really floundering. Kaya nga, it was before PABL, naging PBL yan nung pumasok ako. And with some good teams. But, everybody wants to win, so you can't please everybody. So you have to be stern, and I happen to be that. I got it out of the red. They owed money, but the old PABL, and I left them with money when I left after a year and a half, because the tickets were there were more audience participation. Marami nanonood. We're in the old Ninoy Aquino, and actually yung Rizal Memorial and Ninoy Aquino, more on Rizal Memorial. May sariling fan base yan Old days pa yan Always puno yan yung mga Mika games yan. Wala ka nakakitang upuan dyan na libre, maski na sa bleachers, na vacant. So they have a fan base there, especially the Visayan group in the Vito Cruz area. So that's what I tried to cater in. There were kind of the teams with some exciting players. Berhel played there, Kenneth Fernandez played there. We had Bong Ravena. In other words, Johnny, all of them, they played there. Marlo. So there were exciting players. The hardest thing to sell is a bad product, but it was not a bad product. So eventually we made it. Now to talk about yung sa UAAP, UAAP is a strong organization. Fortunately, in 2011, Ateneo asked me. In 2014, UE asked me. And I thought that we had very good seasons for both, and a very great crowd. You don't know this, but NU won its first championship after 50 years under my guidance, at that time, 2014.
I covered that game.
Yeah. Oh, thank you, Sid. And, at that time, I don't know if you check with Araneta, because there was an announcement at that time. The championship was between FEU and NU. It was the first time that neither LaSalle or Ateneo went into the finals. Of course, automatic draw any of those two teams. And more of a draw pag sila naglaban. But they ended up runner-ups. They ended up third and fourth. Diba? Tinalo ng FEU ang LaSalle on the shots of
Tinalo ng NU, Ateneo.
Tapos yung kay NU, tinalo naman ng Ateneo, even twice to beat ang Ateneo.
Right.
But I remember, kasi umabot ng 3 games yan, best of 3 lang yan. If they had known, they probably wished mag-best of 5 na tayo. FEU won the first in 2014 ito. NU won the second. They had an announcement that day that the crowd was 22,000, which is already standing room only. I'm not sure, but I know my supervisor of officials, si Romy Guevara. I think they announced that we had 27,000 people on our championship, which has never been done in Araneta. So it was like a record for me. But, it's not into crowd. It's the product itself. It's not because of me. It's because of the product. And of course, the C's, especially Hans, was very happy at that time. Kasi 50 years na nga lang eh. Di ba? But if you go back and look at it, sabihin mo, paano champion? Tingnan mo player.
Oo nga.
Troy Rosario, Cabutin, Alolino. Ang dami magaling na player doon nowadays. Ang dami.
Alfred Aroga, yung FSA nila, si Alfred
And
Aroga.
they had a very good import in Aroga.
Yes.
He was
No, actually, just to lang, it actually 60 years yung drought ng NU kasi 1954, not just 50. It was 60
so
years.
So ilang years?
60.
Oh, mahaba pa pala.
Senior citizen.
Kaya gutom na gutom sila. Talagang punong-puno yung standing
Yes,
room.
Yes, I remember that. Grabe rin yung panalo nila.
The NC was a little bit... NC is a harder league to manage. First of all, there are more teams. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Even up today, you ask anybody that's managing that, palitan naman sila, bago na mga commissioner nila. Although they had there for a couple of years. NC is harder to manage. Mm-hmm. I have nothing against them because they're doing their thing. But, when you're a commissioner, you expect to be given the powers that are right. Diba?
Exactly.
That you apply what is in the rule book. Kung may mali. Kung may dapat i-suspend, hindi na natin i-suspend or whatever kasi may violation of rules. But, unfortunately for me, the management committee, their management committee, ibang klase rin eh. It made it difficult for you. Yeah. They accepted what you were doing. It's very organized naman. But sometimes, syempre, because of the bias for your own team, nagkakaroon ng problema. So let's leave it at that more. So it's not an easy, it's a harder league. And there are more teams. Everybody wants to win. We understand that. And they should all be given equal chance to win.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. How about your time, Doc, as a team consultant? You were a team consultant for many different teams, no? What does a team consultant really do? What did you do in that capacity?
Well, the reason why they get you that is because probably because of my stature, they didn't want to make me like an assistant coach, which I probably would not have taken, no? Mm-hmm. Because there is a difference in, di ba? So, like for example, with Jay, kasama naman kayo sa Red Bull, hindi naman ako team consultant lang, di ba? It's like an assistant team manager, Tony Chua,
right.
Eventually a manager. So, but he and I could talk about the game, what we felt. I did a lot of recruiting for the imports. And I know my record of getting imports. Medyo magaling ako dyan. Now, no more because I no longer have the connections. There's some people sometimes who call me, so I have no team. I can't get you to give a player a team, an import. But there are things that you do. For example, what you see with the other side, what they're doing, and what you think you could help, especially in their team meetings, you give your opinion. Sometimes they will accept it. Sometimes they may think you're foolish. But in the end, they might find out, tama ka pala, because of our experience. But we no longer have the knowledge. I no longer have the knowledge of the younger generation of coaching. Mm-hmm. But I can still see things that will make it simpler.
Oh, yeah. Doc, there's actually a question that someone sent to me now. How do you keep your comments on the game so concise daw and yet so parang tumpak na tumpak? But, unlike others who have to say such a long spiel, your statements are very short. Is that something that you developed through the years or were you like that ever since?
Which one?
What do I develop about the game? Yung statements mo about the game, Doc, as you're analyzing the game, very concise yung mga comment mo. Unlike some other analysts, ang haba-haba na sasabihin. Ganun.
I've always been short. I don't like to be long because I do not want to get into the flow of a game. So even to the girls though, I remember when I was younger, I used to teach yung mga courtside sino ito mga maganda lalaki nito?
Si Kamrani of Iran.
Oo, yeah. Ito yata magkasama tayo, Charlie.
Sa Changsha yan, Doc. Changsha.
Oo, tayo magkasama nito.
Inabangan natin sa lobby si Kamrani.
Ito, this guy was one of the best point guards. And after that, si Jason na. You know, in Asia, but this guy was one of the best. Yung pareho lang ang height niyan, hindi naman malaki, pero the way they play, they can score. We were going about something, Charlie.
Yeah, about yung mga short statements niyo, Doc.
Yeah, I think even when I was teaching some of the courtside ladies, I told them, when you make reports, you have to make the report relevant. I was just talking to one of the girls yesterday. Make report relevant. Find what is relevant to the game. And do not try, just because you have something planned and you cannot push it through, there will always be something else. Hindi naman important. Kung yan, pase na yan, o hindi na importante, do not try to go through with it because you had it planned. You always have to be up to what is happening in the game. And you have, in other words, kung gusto mo maging courtside reporter, you have to understand the game also. Di ba? Humahabol yung isa, o tinatambakan yung isa, nag-time out, so pumunta ka dun. Ang gusto mong sabihin sa tao, ano sinabi ng coach? Yeah. Ano ba ginagawa natin mali? Ano bang gagawin natin para makabalik tayo? Then when you see it progress, o tama pala yung ginawa ng coach doon, everything, that is what people look for. And that's what I believe in, you know. And that's why, you know, you don't want to presume what they are thinking about, pero wag mong pag-uunahan. Pero at the same time, hindi mo pwedeng to make it so long na hindi maintindihan because the game is going on, di ba? Right. And actually, that is the product. The game is the product itself.
Right, that's right. Tama yun, guys. You know, and then also, no, we have to congratulate Doc because you are in the Hall of Fame of De La Salle, di ba?
Yeah.
Sports Hall of Fame, no? Because of all your achievements in sports, in basketball in particular, di ba? So na-induct po kayo noong 2009. It's been 15 years since your induction, but that just goes to show you na recognize kayo ng alma mater ninyo, no? You're also a writer at one point, no, for Manila Standard.
Yeah, I did. I used to write a lot. Like I said, that's why I knew that magazine, Sports Weekly. I wrote a little for Tempo, little wrote for Bulletin. Because I know the editors, when they asked me, wrote for Standard, you know, a regular column, maybe 3 times a week. I'm not really fan of writing. But when the editors that are my friends ask me, I cannot say no. You know, I never took it as no. And I try to be as what do you call this, straight with my column as can be. I'm not going to go side with one team or another and so on and so forth. Or even on the issues of kung may problema ang commissioner's office or whatever, hindi ko pinakikialaman. So I used to write, this is Charlie, how are you? You should have taken yourself out of that picture.
Siningit ni Sid yung mga picture natin, Doc.
Yeah.
Niya sa akin eh.
Yeah, nice. Thank you.
Ito medyo recent ito, no? And just goes to you have to emphasize that Doc is still doing the games until now. Noel?
Yeah.
I just want to share lang. I hope my internet is better now. I just like to share lang that I actually had more fun covering another sport with Dr. J than basketball. Although magkasama rin kami sa basketball.
Billiards.
One of my best coverages, Docs, is billiards with you. Yun talaga, lumabas yung puro talaga. I mean, I learned so much about the colloquial terms of billiards with you. What is your passion with billiards and how do you translate that into broadcasting?
I love the game kasi when I was young. Actually, I still have 2 cues here. And a couple of Tisa, as they call it. But I don't play anymore. Yeah. I wish I had bought a table at that time. I could have continued. I no longer have what tinatawag natin sa Tagalog yung pulso to play the game. Although I still love to cover because I really understood the game. I loved the game when I was young. I saw Efren when he was bata talaga, bata. Just before when he was beginning to become the champion over Amang Parica, who eventually moved to the States. Amang was so unbeatable. Actually, tinuruan pa kami ng barkada ko niyan eh. At that time, we were paying him I don't know, 5 pesos or 10 pesos an hour para matuto kami. My friend kasi has a table in his house. You know. So I really loved the game and I understood the language very well. And I think I'm still want to be able to do that. Actually, whenever they ask about sports, I said the only two things I want to do is basketball and billiards. I can do a little of golf, but with the right partner. But those two I can do even by myself, which I did actually, because I did billiards for the Philippines in 1998 when nobody was covering those two guys who gave us our only gold medal in the Asian Games in 1998. Si Snooki at saka si Bandy Galle.
Snooki
Gandhi
Villanueva.
Valle. Yeah. Snooki Villanueva and Gandhi Valle.
Gandhi
Ako lang
Valle.
yan doon.
Gandhi
Pero nung
Valle.
nalaman na malapit na tayo mag-champion, nagdatingan na lahat yung mga Philippine sport ko. Pero kami tatlong araw namin ni Ramil, yung ating cameraman, Charlie.
Si Ramil, yeah.
Dalawa nagtyaga doon, kailangan daming tao.
Yeah.
And you have to be quiet in a billiard hall. So, mahirap. Kami lang na nagtyaga. Ang dami namin announcers doon, pero ako lang nandun.
Pabulong-bulong lang kunyari, ha? There's so much more, guys, that we can talk about with Doc. I'm looking at the questions in our comments, and dami mga tanong na about certain individuals, about certain situations, but I don't think we can go through all of them. Maybe we can have a round 2 one time with Doc, hopefully, but I know Doc, may lakad din si Doc, kaya we'll have to wrap this up already. Pahabol questions, guys, bago tayo Twilight Zone, o pasok na tayo Twilight Zone?
Pasok na. Okay lang.
Okay, so pasok tayo sa Twilight Zone. The first segment of our Twilight Zone, Doc, is a segment called X's or O's. It's brought to us by Tuminugan Farm, your private paradise at the heart of Bukidnon. If you want to do a farm stay just over an hour's drive from Cagayan de Oro in Barangay Kalugmanan, Bukidnon, Tuminugan Farm. Look how beautiful that is. Offering a taste of country life, farm's accommodations are situated in a charming farmhouse and cozy cottage. You can take a cool dip in a mountain water reservoir, have a picnic at dawn with a canyon as your backdrop, and have a bonfire under the enchanting starlit Bukidnon sky. So start your Mindanao adventure today. Go to Tuminugan Farm. Doc, dito sa XSROs, may listahan akong ginawa. I want you to choose lang. I'll give you choices. You just choose. I'm not here to break any friendships or to, para may magtampo or whatever. Pero kailangan mamili lang, Doc, among the choices that I'll give you. Okay, Doc? So, umpisa natin, Doc. Let's start, ha? Number one. Etok Lobo or Bay Cristobal?
Etok Lobo.
Etok Lobo.
As a
Number
player?
2. Yeah. Oh, however you appreciate
as a person,
the choice.
Yeah.
So, Doc,
it's
number
okay,
2.
but Etok is more of a close friend.
Okay, number 2. Mga point guard, Hector Calma or Marte Saldana?
That's very difficult for me. I thought they were really good, but I think Hector was one of the best.
Okay, so Hector.
Yeah, I have to be honest, it's Hector. Even though Marte was my player.
Ito, Doc, Atoy
Heck
ko
was
or
also
Bogs
my player pala, nawala lang siya in 1979.
Solid meal. So, Atoy ko or Bogs Adornado?
If you talk about the impact on Philippine basketball, you gotta be William Adornado.
William. Okay.
Three-time MVP yan, di ba? Three-time MVP.
Correct. Ito, Mon Fernandez or Abet Gidabe?
Si Ramon.
Don Ramon, okay. How about Don Ramon or June Mar Fajardo?
Nobody is going to beat June Mar now.
June Mar na lang muna kayo. Iba na. Yoyoy Villamin or Anthony Dasalia?
Yoyoy, malayo naman.
Yoyoy, okay. Ray Lazaro or Rad Pasco?
Ray Lazaro, malayo.
UTEX 1978 sweep versus Crispa or UTEX 1980 16 seconds game against Toyota?
Siyempre, UTEX versus Toyota.
Toyota
was
yun,
talo ka na nakatabla ka pa, and then you went on to win overtime.
Yeah. Okay. Solid Mills 1978 Mika or San Miguel 1982 Invitationals?
I think that amateur championship was really something to treasure. It was the first for the club.
Okay.
And they were so happy that we got away with it.
Ito, Doc, Bates or Brownlee?
Sino?
Bates.
Before
Bates
I never thought I could see another player like Billy Ray Bates, but Brownlee is a different type of player. He just becomes better when it's time to become better. And just saw it last night again.
Yeah. Almost. He almost made them win. Yeah. Ito, Doc, Sean Chambers or Norman Black?
Norman,
okay. Glenn McDonald or Michael Young?
I think Glenn was the better player.
Glenn,
All
okay.
around,
Okay.
Michael
Ito.
is my closest friend, pero yeah.
Yeah. Ito. Import mo rin. Butch Hayes or Aaron James?
Oh, Aaron's an NBA player.
Yeah. Okay. Rain or Shine 2012 championship with Cornley or Red Bull 2005 with James Penny?
I think the most gratifying there was the one with James Penny, the last
James
of the Red Bull
Penny.
championship.
Okay, James Penny. Okay. UAAP or NCAA?
UAP.
UAAP. Okay. Natanong na natin. Tony Lang or Julius Nwosu?
Both are good friends, but Tony was closer to me.
Okay,
Both
Tony
are
Lang.
good friends.
Johnny Abarientos, as a point guard, Johnny Abarientos or Robert Jaworski?
Who's the other one?
Johnny Abarientos or Robert Jaworski?
As a point guard, it should be Johnny.
Johnny.
Robert, as a convertible 1, 2, 3, kahit ano, kaya ilaro niya.
Forward center, guard center
even
nakalagay.
yung 6 feet niya, 6 feet 1 niya, nung nasa UE yan, he could play any position. Just like Atoy ko, did you know that, in Mapua? There was a time he was in the middle of that zone of the center. Nagbablanka pa ng tira si Atoy doon. Yeah, because he could jump,
Okay. Next, Doc, Philip Cesar or Abby King?
Or Abby King or Philip Cesar.
Philip Cesar, okay. Ito, Alan Kaidik or Marcio Lassiter?
I gotta go with Kaidik. Ano ba?
Yeah. I was almost sure. Jimmy Alapag or Jason Castro?
That's hard. I would think that's almost a tie. They're teammates, so it's hard to separate them. But maybe 1% more on Jimmy.
Maybe one. Okay. Oh, ito. Malamang alam ko na yung sagot mo dito. Yeng Giao or Tommy Manotoc?
Longer si Yeng.
Yeah.
Tommy did not have really a very long career in
Giao.
coaching.
Okay.
Yeah, so Yeng. Yeng.
Okay. Joe Cantada or Pingoy Pengson?
There's no question. Master Showman, Joe.
Okay. Crispa Toyota?
Well, I'm closer to the family of the Floros, so I have to go Crispa. But Toyota was the team of the
Yeah. Iko Ismael?
Ismael ako always.
Ismael,
I've always been
Okay, ito venue naman, Doc. Araneta Coliseum, Ultra or Mall of Asia Arena?
Araneta
forever. Jordan or LeBron?
No. There's only one GOAT.
Yeah.
It's MJ.
Okay. Tapos, ito yung pinakamahirap siguro, Doc. Claude, pakita naman ng photo, please. Doc, ito. Si
Alma Moreno.
Si Rio o si Lorna?
I've always been a fan of Lorna.
LT wins today. Lorna Tolentino for Dr. Andrew Howe. Okay, that's episode 233's X's or O's. Tapos na tayo. Brought to us by Tuminugan Farm. Next guy. Noel Zarate. Ikaw naman, go.
Pero pa.
Ito, Doc,
Ako, teka, buwelo muna ako. If you like hatid po sa atin. Seryosong tanong. Hatid sa atin ng seryoso chili garlic. If you like your chili garlic seriously spicy, aromatic, and crispy, Seryoso Chili Garlic is perfect for you. Ito ang chili garlic na seryosong maanghang at kaya kang ipaglaban di gaya ng ex mo. And Seryoso offers different chili garlic variation. Seryoso, medyo seryoso, mushroom seryoso, seryoso honey, and gift sets with Tampipi native boxes are also available. And AEOB fans get to enjoy a 15% exclusive discount on Shopee. Just use the code ABIGAEOB upon checkout. Seryoso Chili Garlic. Ito yung aking seryosong tanong, Doc. Had you not been involved in basketball in any way, shape, or form, what would you have been doing since the 70s onwards to become, to create your own Andy Jao persona na hindi related sa broadcasting or sa basketball? What would you have been known for?
I really would not have, I really am not sure what my life would have been if I was not able to enter this world. That's why I'm so grateful to it. You have a little fans and you always like to associate with them, and that is something that is precious. It's priceless actually to me. So I always try to accommodate these people, no? Whenever I would not really know where I would have been, I might not be even alive. Yeah, there are some things that are true in life. It's because that you have something to keep on going for, and you're still happy. If I wasn't in basketball, baka natuloy ang inom ko, I might not be around anymore. So I stopped a lot of things. No, try to go straight as much as possible, and send me one of those seryoso because my children like that, so I can taste it. Pag naman nagustuhan ko, Charlie, bibili naman ako. Gusto lang malaman kung okay.
Walang problema. Walang problema.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay.
Kami
Okay,
na
ako
ang
naman.
bahala dyan, Doc.
Okay.
Ako naman.
Thank you for your honest
Doc.
answer, Doc. And I just want to say that you're one of my inspirations as a broadcaster.
Thank you also, Noel. Hope
Si
to
Sid naman,
work
si
with
Sid
you
naman.
again. Maybe do some billiard soon.
Yeah. Okay, ako na. Okay. Ako naman, Doc. My segment is also brought to you by Seryoso Chili Garlic. I will not repeat the spiel of Noel anymore. Just remember, a big AEOB on Shopee, get a 15% discount if you use that promo code. Doc, my question to you is, if you could have dinner with any basketball personality, living or dead, foreign or local, kakilala mo, hindi mo kakilala, who would it be and what would you talk about?
My greatest idol when I was in my 20s up to 30s was Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. I would like to talk to him because I know he's an intellectual. He's not only a good basketball player, he's an intellectual. He has written columns, he has had some books. My first rubber shoes was the blue one that they had when it came out. Because, not the first actually, but syempre, the one that you wanted most to buy.
Right.
And you had to save for it because it was not a cheap thing. I admired him because he was just a force that really changed the whole NBA at his time. Even collegiate basketball, nagkaroon pa nga na role yan dahil sa kanya because of the way he dominated the game. And you have to remember, he's a 6-time MVP, with how many championships, even helping Milwaukee to its very first. So he's the person I would like to talk to, and I would like to talk to him about the evolving culture of the NBA from the time that he came in the 70s all the way up to what he sees. Because like I say, I listened to him on TV and things like that, and I think that he really understands the game as well as life, and maybe he could help me on, He's a little bit older than I am, but this is something that I wish I could learn. It's unfortunate for him. Very few coaches, good players ever become coaches. Totoo yan, di ba, Charlie? You know that?
Yeah.
Very,
Right.
Magic never made it. Very few
Si
good
Bird lang
players
talaga.
become good coaches. Ha?
Si Larry
hindi
Bird
rin
lang
nag-champion.
True.
Hindi rin nag-champion. Correct. That's a great answer, Doc. Very,
So
very.
finals lang.
Take a look. Yeah. May mga nagsabi na before na si Kareem ang choice
Yes,
nila.
meron na.
Pero you articulated it the best kung bakit.
Yes.
Yeah, thank you for the answer.
Okay, so Kareem Abdul-Jabbar ang gusto makadinner ni Doc. Okay, so very last na ito, Doc. Meron tayong last portion. It's called Hello Porky. If you remember, si Joe Cantada, Hello
Yes.
Porky. So ito na yung batian portion natin, Doc. Before we let you go, you can greet, thank, acknowledge, shout out to anyone you want bago tayo maghiwalay-hiwalay dito.
Hello, Porky. Of course, everybody knows Porky is the son of Joe and Maribel. He's okay. He was a little ill about a couple of weeks back, but he's okay. Still a nice fellow. Who do I want to greet? I want to greet all of the people that I've worked with in life on the basketball field, referees, players, announcers, even what you would call security people that have been very careful for us. Want to thank all the people of the provinces where we have gone and where they've been very accommodating. Maraming salamat sa inyong lahat. for the teams that are still in the PBA and the teams that will be in the PBA in the future. Sana man you continue to keep that legend, the legacy of this league. 1975 ito, so matagal na ito. Next year, 50 years na, no?
Yes.
So, should be a big celebration. Hopefully, everybody is healthy and we can come and we can probably see some of our other players that have been great contributors in the past dito sa ating liga. Maraming salamat sa inyong tatlo. At I'd like to greet all my kasamahan rin right now, no? Yung mga kasamahan ko sa trabaho ngayon dyan sa RPN 9, of course, under Signal and TV5, no? Maraming salamat for all this opportunity and pinakamaraming salamat sa mga fans. Parating, you've helped us through the years, through ups and downs. Nandito tayo. Hey, Andy, that's a very nice thing. Yeah, man. I love that guy. You should have, if you had seen him really at play, you would have. Hindi scorer yan eh. But he was such a great defender and was such a great teammate, no?
Right. Baseball pass yan.
Yep.
That's it, Doc. Yan yung mga bati nyo.
Yes, thank you.
Doc, thanks so much. Thank you so much for finally coming on the show, sharing. Obviously, bitin tayo. Dahil pang pwede pag-usapan. Pwede 3 hours, pero this is only the time we have. On a personal note, Doc, I'm very honored to still be working with you, and thank you for all the wisdom that you've shared, not just with me, but with all of us as well. So, looking forward to working with you again soon. Sa finals, malamang magkasama na naman tayo dyan. Okay, so that does it for episode 233 of AEOB. It's now in the books. Before we go, we remind everyone we're part of the Globally Ballin Network. Salamat sa Globally Ballin Network. Salamat din sa PBA Archives, PH Basketball Diaries, PH Sports Bureau, always for helping us out. May mga birthdays tayo in the past week sa mga kapamilya natin dito sa AEOB. Si Django Arce, si Freddy Abuda, Cho Season, Sunny Cabatu, Worley Cuevas, and birthday today ni Commissioner Willie Marshall. So happy birthday sa inyo lahat. Recently was Doc's birthday also, so belated happy birthday, Doc. So that does it. Tapos na ang episode 233. We're gonna announce who our next guest is on our Facebook page as soon as we can. So sa ngalan ng aking mga kasamahan, Noel Zarate, the late, and then Sid Ventura. Ako po si Charlie Cuna. This is an Eternity of Basketball. Thank you for joining us, everybody. God bless you all. Have a great weekend. Doc, mabuhay ka. I'll see you soon. Take care, and I'm gonna send you some chili garlic.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Claudia. Thank you so much working backstage.
Salamat po.
Goodbye, everybody.
Salamat din. Salamat, guys. Thank you, guys. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Salamat, Doc. Salamat, Doc.
A leader in key sectors so vital to the growth of our nation. Food, beverage, packaging, infrastructure, energy, and power. Proudly Filipino, through our well-loved brands, we carry the flag overseas. Yet we've always held out for ourselves a larger purpose. To use our scale, size, and dynamism to deliver products and services that can unlock and accelerate new opportunities for growth and drive our economy forward. We are committed to contribute to a resilient and globally competitive Philippines, where businesses like San Miguel can use their resources and imagination to expand the economy and ensure that prosperity is widely shared. Today, our focus is on generating investments and projects that will enable our country to achieve its full promise. Malasakit is woven into all that we do, from ensuring that more Filipinos are food secure, have access to reliable, sustainable, and affordable energy, world-class roads, airports, mass transit, stronger communities, and greater economic opportunities. We are helping build the Philippines that can carry our 110 million strong population into a future whose defining challenges of our time will be an energy transition, resource scarcity, and the need for greater inclusiveness. As a company, we have set our sights on building the nation of our dreams. By leveraging our expertise, leadership, and reach, as San Miguel, we will do what it takes to build a better future for all Filipinos.